Hey, man, welcome to it. It is the Ace Michael Show, where every day on the dial we get to talk about the truth. The truth, homie. We don't build it up. We don't psych it up. We don't fake it up. We just keep it the truth. You know what I'm saying? The truth will set you free. Today, we have a guest on the show that's going to talk about the holy holiday, a very religious holiday. I don't know much about it because I only know pop culture references. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Ask me about some Star Wars, some Batman, Spider-Man. I know about it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, welcome to the show, darling. How you doing?
Me?
Yeah. How are you?
Oh, sorry. I'm great, thank you.
Okay, so let us first make sure that we know how to say your name properly throughout the show.
Thank you.
I hate to go through the show and be like, say your name wrong. You know what I mean?
For sure. Okay, so it's Dynami.
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 Okay, and you say your name like that, and that's how you prefer. Don't you hate when someone says, no, that's not how you say it, or that's not how you spell it?
Yes, for sure. I
It's
get
like,
that a
it's
lot.
my name, right? I know how I say it. You know,
Thank you. For sure.
So, I've interviewed you before, but let's pretend I haven't. Tell everybody a little bit about you. Where you from? What's up with you? What up, dog? What up with you?
I've been good. It's been a long time, but since the last time I think was when I had done that fashion show. Transitioned a bit since then. Now I'm in real estate and social media marketing. And I moved out to Milwaukee from California, so that's been a big change. It's a huge culture shock.
Yeah. So first off, Milwaukee from California, I question that decision, but hey, that's me. Milwaukee, wow.
Yeah.
And how did you go from the fashion business to the real estate business? Because those are two very different types of fields.
It was, so after the show, I had returned to the States to get my second bachelor's in international business.
Nice.
And just before completing that, I got a partnership offer in a place called Micheals in Wisconsin. So it was to open up like a raw, vegan, gluten-free, really healthy option restaurant.
Nice.
We did like meal prep for UFC fighters and different stuff. So I wasn't going to pass that up.
Nice.
So it seems like it's a lot easier to grow here without that much competition.
Right. That's important. And so now you're doing real estate. Are you a broker? Are you in the lending part of it? What do you do exactly?
I'm a realtor. So I do like the purchasing and selling of homes. So we work with a lot of investors from out of state right now. And particularly the Airbnb, which has taken a bit of a hit, but we offer options to everybody too. I guess fix that for them.
Just so you know, today you don't look like a real estate person.
I'm
just saying.
Yeah. No, I won't dress like this for work.
You look like a commando today. Like you look like you're going to get real with it. I love it.
It's like California hat.
But it's the kind of job you can dress however you want, really, couldn't you?
You for sure you can, but I like to demonstrate some professionalism when I take my clients out. I don't want them to think they're just walking around with some bum.
Sure.
It makes them feel better if they're paying me.
Sure. And so you sold some houses, I presume?
Plenty, yes.
Plenty of houses. So What was it like when you sold your first house? Describe the feeling when you sold your first house.
It was really an unexpected, this is an unexpected deal because I actually did it virtually. And this is before, this was like, beginning of last year. So I actually was showing them the house from out of state through Snapchat.
Oh, wow.
And they just kind of trusted me to choose whatever the house was. And they gave me their specifications. And that's how it worked. And it was actually a pretty good priced house too.
And so you did that deal, and did you like have a moment of disbelief? Like, really? I'm getting this commission? Like, for real?
I really did. And they were so happy. I think they were my favorite clients, my first and favorite.
Oh, wow. And now look at you. You're busy on the move still as we speak. So,
Thank you.
Okay. So today's an important day. Let's jump right to that. Today is Ramadan. And
it is.
Do we say Happy Ramadan? Happy Ramadan.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And what do you say back? Like when I say Happy Ramadan, is there a thing you say back? Like,
yeah, so we
back to you. So, you know what I'm saying?
Of course. We can say Ramadan Kareem or Ramadan Mubarak. Either one is fine.
I probably can't say the second one, but I can say Ramadan Kareem.
Yeah, that works
I
perfectly
got
too.
the first one. The second one was what? What was the second one?
Ramadan Mubarak. So you can, it spells out Mubarak, technically.
Ramadan Kareem. I got you. I'm on
And
it.
then Ramadan Mubarak.
I'm on the first one. That's what's up.
Yes.
So, okay. So Ramadan is a very, very important holiday. I don't know much about it, but just so you know, I don't know much about Easter either. Like, I don't know anything about really anything. That's why I host a show, because I get guests on and then they give me the information that I don't know. That's how I learn things.
That's
So,
very cool.
what is Ramadan?
So it happens every lunar year. It's a holiday where we take about a month or so. It changes every year. We don't eat, drink anything. We abstain from a lot of regular things, but from sunrise to sunset. So no, we don't fast 30 days straight without eating completely. It's just like intermittent fasting.
So you eat what your body requires, but the ideal is to fast. Tell me why. What is the significance of fasting?
So it teaches discipline. It reminds us of, how we are blessed compared to people that have less than us during this time. So it's kind of like a test, and it helps us become more thankful and have a closer connection to God during this time, because we'll turn more to worship because we're actually needy in this time. Our bodies need nutrition. It needs so much stuff. So this is kind of the purpose, one of the many purposes.
How does one prepare? Like, what do you personally do to prepare? Because you're going to be fasting for about a month. So what do you do to get ready to fast for a month?
Correct. So it's kind of good to get your body in a good shape for it, like hydrated. So what we'll do is the night before it starts, we'll stay up until 4 or so, 5, depends what time the sun rises. And we drink a lot of water, and it's important to eat like closest, like the minute before it starts. Then you have to stop completely. But it's important to be hydrated is the biggest deal.
Really? Wow. So that takes a lot of commitment. So this is something you've done your whole life?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not gonna say like when I was a baby. I think I was I started taking it more seriously when I was about 8.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
But it has been part of your life.
Yes, completely.
Wow. So, okay. So you're fasting, and then obviously there's prayer involved.
Correct.
And you're doing morning prayer, right? When the sun, you do the morning prayer, and then you do prayer in the evening, correct?
Yes. So we have about 5 prayers. We have one that's like really super, super early, again, like before the sunrise. And then we have about 2 that are just before noon. And then one, it's at sunset, and another one after that one. So about 5 per day.
Now, if I wanted to do this, since today's the first day,
correct?
Right? If I wanted to do it, could I just start doing this, or do I have to be a member of the faith? Like, do I have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, can anybody
for
do
sure.
it if they want to celebrate Ramadan?
So there are a lot of people that will like kind of take part in it and would like to participate, and they're more than welcome to. It's not going to be, you're not going to get the same reward like in the religion towards God in that aspect. But if you're trying to learn and get into and develop some understanding before getting into the religion, it's an excellent method for sure. Now, and even just develop discipline.
Now I'm going to ask a dumb question. And we're talking about which religion?
Islam.
Okay, right. So I thought so, but just, never know.
That's right.
So we're talking about the Islamic religion, and you're saying anybody could do it. So a devout Christian could do this as well? No, they couldn't.
Yeah, no, anybody could do it. It's completely up to them.
Because it's about your servitude to God, really.
Exactly.
It's not about you got to be from the Democrats or Republican. It's none of that. This is about your connection with the Lord and your serving the Lord. Correct. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. So what else happens during Ramadan that should I know about? Like,
we will. In my case, I like to listen to a lot of lectures. Read up on some of our old scriptures. We have a lot of new scholars coming up right now that are more a little more modernized and appeal more to, for example, myself, like a more millennial generation. And they might be a little bit more progressive, which I absolutely, it's great, but still a little bit of old school feel. But this year, I think is going to be very different for everybody compared to the ones before.
Sure.
But yeah, as far as just reading up, reconnecting, and a lot of cooking that's my favorite part of it for sure. Like I can cook without like having the need to eat the food I'm cooking.
Yeah.
So I can cook all day. That keeps me busy.
Now you're maintaining a diet. You're still eating meat, or are you vegan?
I'm actually paleo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But during this month, I will eat rice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what does your diet consist of? So then, the paleo diet, and so don't even let me speculate. Tell me what it is you're eating and you're not eating.
Yeah. So it's more like the caveman diet, anything that was available during the Paleolithic era. So very much high in protein, fats, seeds, nuts, vegetables. So we don't do grains, legumes, bread, gluten, things like this.
And of course, no pork.
Egg. Well, there are paleo people who will eat it, it's definitely within the categories, but I personally don't eat pork.
It's interesting to me when people talk about their faith and their religion to other people who don't share the same faith. The interesting thing to me is that people first zone in on what you can't do. They go, oh, so they don't let you roller skate in your religion? Oh, yeah, I don't know about all that, man, because, and it's like, you know what? That's just so simplistic an approach to, like, I mean.
That is so true.
You know what I mean? Your faith and your religion is probably the most important relationship you have. I'm sure you would agree.
I would definitely agree with that. Right? That's very true. And I don't think we can pinpoint or make judgments on anybody based on their religion, but all we know is that's what's kind of maintaining them if that's what they choose to believe. So I think it's very important.
Yeah, it is. And it's good. I mean, I think it is. And it's good that you've incorporated and stayed true to your faith, because there's a lot of things that happen in this modern world that literally test your faith, right?
It's
literally
very
test your faith.
It's very true.
And you've been pretty successful. I mean, you've been very successful.
Thank you.
You always were, but since we spoke, which has been a few years actually.
Yeah, it has been.
But you've been very successful in your trajectory. Would you say how much of that is due to your faith? How much of that is due to luck, as they call it? As they say, the universe. You just have to be in the right place, the right time. How much would you say is the balance?
I would say I'm going to give it a huge thing to faith because I'm very optimistic. And sometimes once in a while, I'm not sure how something will work out. And I'm like, oh, well, God's going to walk me through this one. And it happens. But I mean, there's always needing to be productive, which you don't just rest and expect things to happen. Not at all. I do have my lucky moments here and there. But I believe it's just about my consistency in trying new things. And that's kind of what's helped me keep up with many of the business that I've been doing.
In business, is it more important to be successful or more important to make money?
I mean, it depends on what you categorize as success. I mean, money comes eventually, even if you lost all the money. There are many ways to get it back, but if you don't have a stable tribe, for example, your clientele and preferred vendors that you work with, you need this sphere. I think the most important part of business is your sphere for sure. So I wouldn't say the money part until you're really into like far past the 6 digits, which I have to wait to get there a little bit.
But you're on your way.
For sure.
Well, speaking of the sphere, give us a little piece of advice. Like, how does one build a successful team?
So as far as that, we work with a CRM, client management software. So it helps us keep track of all of our clients. I
thought that was a person, by the way. I was like, oh, CRM? Yeah, I know CRM.
That dude.
He's a good rapper. I like his last album. He was like,
Oh my God. Basically we keep this sphere in a database.
Okay.
So I think right now databases are some of the most valuable assets any company can own. Most companies are trying to buy data from everybody, and that's kind of the age we're in. That's what we've been using in order to categorize our clients, or categorize people we work with, in order to categorize potential hires for us. I think, and I'm certain, if we don't stay ahead of them and in their faces all the time, there's no way to run a business anymore.
That was going to be my next question. So you do believe in a weekly phone call or something that keeps you connected with your people. And do you do an actual phone call, or do you do like now just a text message?
We have something we use called a 36 touch. So every year, one client must be contacted in some way 36 times a year, whether it's a postcard, whether it's a phone call, an email, a letter on their birthday, or a card on their birthday. We have various forms that we keep in touch with our clients, and past clients and future leads this way.
And does that pay off for you?
It does, heavily. Somebody that might have received a postcard from us 2 years ago and doesn't even know anything about real estate, and one day decides to sell their house, they'll say, oh, I remember that one person. I think I got a card from them someplace. Oh, there it is. And that happens way too often.
Wow. This is so strange because the conversation is so different from our last one when you were heavily immersed in the fashion industry.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wow. And now you're like really crunching these numbers and making these things happen. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you got to change. It's change makes life fun.
What about plans for the future? You're going to have some little rug runs running around doing that thing?
I would really hope so. I currently have a little husky who's, the equivalent at the moment.
Equivalent for real, but can't talk. So there you go. You never have to worry about the husky coming home and telling you what's up.
Yeah, or bad grades or anything like that. But yeah, for sure. Rugrats in the future. That would be nice. But not until I'm actually completely ready.
Nice. But you're doing well. You're on a path that's really
it is.
A lot of people wish they could be doing what you're doing. And speaking of that, my last question before we run out of time is, what would you say to somebody who wants to be where you're at, say 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Got any piece of advice you might give them, something to look forward to or look out for?
Sure. In all honesty, I'm a very shy person. But it's kind of pushing back from the fear and trying new things all the time, and not to be scared to. For example, I will try new social media posts and new software and new apps. It's just try something, test it out, and practice. If without practice, nothing can come out of it with, this way.
I love it. Hey, that's a quote I can close the show on. I love that.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate
happy Ramadan to you.
Thank you too.
Enjoy. So from now until when is it over?
It's going to be about 30-ish days.
Okay,
29,
so
30 days.
about this time next month. And do you lose a lot of weight during Ramadan?
I don't, because I eat a lot at dinner.
Okay, so you eat a lot, so you keep it on. That's good.
I have to stay consistent that way.
Okay, that's what's up. And so how do we reach you if we want to stalk you on social media now? We want to follow you.
For sure. It's at Princess Dynami on Instagram.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Well, hey, it must be nice. Okay, I can't.
Or you can email me at dynami@kw.com.
No, I like Princess Dynami.
That's a good one too.
Hey man, it's the Ace Michael Show. My guest today, Dynami, celebrating Ramadan. I hope she eats a lot tonight.
Thank you. I will.
And I'm gonna try it out. Why not? I'm gonna try it. This is 30 days. I'm gonna try it out.
Oh my God, let me know. That'd be awesome.
Why not? Live on the edge. Hey, you know what I say at the end of the show, man? Live the life you love the life you live. Thank